Alright guys, we've had an interesting battery development. This is a Thundersky 12 volt 40 amp hour monoblock. I've had two of these for about probably 2 years. They were left over from a work project and I basically acquired them, and I've used them the very odd occasion just to test stuff with. They've never had any real hard work done. Now this particular one here, last weekend I installed it into the E39 just to run the 12 volt systems, and it was fine. And last Tuesday would have been the last day that I actually charged it. Now what I found this morning when I actually opened up the car was that it was at about 9 volts. So put it on a charger and it charged up. I charged these to about 14.2 and it charged up, but as soon as I took the charger off, the voltage fell back down to around 10 volts. So using only precision instruments, I cut off the top, and we find that in here we have 4 40 amp hour Thundersky LFP cells. Now I'm going to measure the voltage of the battery. It's right at 10.29 volts now. I check the first cell, 3.415, 3.372. We have 88 millivolts, and we have 3.417. So number 3 cell has had a bad hair day. Now I can't really believe that the old land yacht has discharged this battery to a point that because they're presumably top balanced in this configuration, that it has brought them down to a point that these 3 cells have eaten this one, but it certainly looks as if that is the case. So first thing we're going to try is with my trusty power supply here. If I can get it to crank up and find it leads. We are going to attempt to revive the number 3 cell. At least that's the theory anyway. Might need some larger crocodile clips, I think. Probably just bully those ones on. We'll just end up bullying these ones on. There we go. So 0.089 volts is currently where we're at. Going to set voltage 3.38 volts, enter. And we'll set current at 2 amps, enter, and see what happens. And we're starting to climb. Get the camera down here. Stupid light seems to be on my trusty phone camera. We're charging at 2 amps, 0.64, 0.65 volts so far. So we'll let's take it up a notch. Let's try 3 amps. And you're seeing a steady increase. Okay, let's go for 4 amps, enter. So let's leave her at 0.1C for a while. Let me see if we can get that cell back, and we'll come back then, and we'll have to get our trusty powerlab out and bottom balance these cells and see if we can recharge them. I do have some spare 40 amp hour Thundersky cells, so not a showstopper, but it's just interesting that possibly that was just a bad cell in there, I'm not sure. To see if I can get it to come up to around maybe 2.8 volts or so, and see what we get. Back soon. Alright folks, we're back again. This is our number 3 cell out of that block. I've just pulled out the cells out of that casing, and this cell on the power supply charged up to about 1.8 volts at 4 amps, and then started rather predictably dropping back. So that has suffered irreparable harm, most probably by having current driven back through it by the 3 other cells. So I had another pack of Thundersky 40s here, and I have 2 of them are dead, but 2 of them are good, so I've stripped out one good cell. I've just actually sat that back in there, so we're going to go ahead and connect that. I'll just set up the camera there for that job. So we're going to redo the straps on this. Unfortunately these rather flimsy coppery straps, but they should be okay. I'm not going to bother with any of this corset crap. That's been proven to be a bit of a misnomer. So we will, I think I have some M6 Nordlocks going around, do I? I do have a few. I have enough to redo the straps on this battery with Nordlocks, so we'll might as well do that, seeing as we're here. And so I'm just trying to, suppose, get my head around the mechanism here, because I'm a bit at loss as to how this actually happened. It's got the classic symptoms of a top balanced battery pack being over discharged. I know that these monoblocks, well, at least I don't know it, I just what I read on the specification sheet is that they're what did they say on it, something like older, finely chosen or precision balanced cells or something to that effect, and that's how come they don't need the famous BMS. So what we're going to do now is we're going to bottom balance this damn thing, and depending on kind of a mood I'm in, we might decide to do a few tests on it, because I kind of want to know why this would actually happen. It's kind of more of the pertinent question for me right now. It's not losing a cell doesn't really concern me, it's the mechanism that concerns me. So let's see now if we can go ahead and just drop it back into this casing. It is a handy casing just for a 12 volt battery. You can probably epoxy the lid back on it in some fashion. Get in there, goddammit. So, I think we're in. Oh, we're in now, right? Okay. So, let's get the multimeter. And our battery is now more respectable, 13.5 volts, and placement cells at 3.337. So what we'll probably do with this is I'm going to set it up to discharge, and we'll balance out the cells and charge it back up and see what we get. But it looks as if that cell is our culprit, so for whatever reason we'll have to find that out. Stay with us. Okay folks, decided to set up the powerlab here. Just do a quick run through what's going on. I've taken some of the straps back off the monoblock, and we're on the number 1 cell here with the powerlab. It's set up for regenerative discharge back into this top quality BMW original spec car battery, which is then being drained by this inverter, which is powering my PC here. Actually, speaking of which, I better log back into the damn thing. Right, done. Now, so we're currently drawing about 43.5 amps from this cell here, and that is translating into a current going into the 12 volt battery about 5.7 amps, and we're taking out through the inverter about 7.5 amps. So we got a net draw of about 2 amps from the starting battery, so that'll be okay just for the purposes of getting these cells bottom balanced. And we're on to let's check the voltage on that cell. This powerlab is set up to do a constant current, constant voltage discharge down to 2.7 volts with a cut-off current, I believe, of 2 amps. So we are at 3.156 volts on that cell with a slightly greater than 1C load on it. So that's not bad at all. So hopefully we'll be able to, as I say, get all 4 of these cells discharged down to 2.75 volts and recharge them as a pack then up to what I usually charge. It's about 14.2 volts. So we'll come back when we have that done and recharge, and let's just see what happens this time. As I've said, I'm just not 100% happy about what actually happened here. Beyond the fact, as I say, that it has all of the hallmarks of a typical over discharge condition when you have a top balanced battery. So okay, we'll come back and see what the procedure brings us. Well folks, I thought that being as we're waiting on all that boring bottom balancing stuff going on up there, thought we'd, be the phrase, spice things up a little bit. We have our bad cell there clamped up in the vise, and I have a precision instrument here. I thought we would go ahead and crack that cell open and see what happens. As I realise that I've never actually cracked open a prismatic cell. I've done the headways and I've done some of the other cylindricals, but never a prismatic. So let's see what one slightly rusty handsaw can do to this cell. I'm going to come back a little bit because I don't want to hit the clamps up there, so hang on to your butts, folks. We got alcohol here. We got booze. We got we got booze. God, I'm starting to feel drunk already. Okay, so we have looks like actually 2 sets of foils on more 100 proof alcohol. So we got our copper, aluminium and trash bag. So let's see if we can extract them. Do the old, oh, there's my clamps I managed to avoid, so God, that's ripe. Gonna smell like a speakeasy in here at the rate I'm going. You get arrested. Now, that's not coming out. Oh God! Yeah, they're a little bit tougher than I anticipated. Yeah, that's not happening. Okay, take 2. Okay, we could do that. I suppose we could do that. Chop off the end of it, but don't really want to do that. Try banging it. Ah, there we go. That got that got something happening. Got some movement. So unfortunately, I have more booze on the floor, but yeah, good grip. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, interesting. Wow. More booze in there. You probably can't see that, but there is booze in it. Interesting. Yes, I believe that we may have some of the old dendrite growth going on in there is what ultimately finished off the old SEI layer. And so, there we go. More plastic. It's always helpful. Into the booze. And here we go. Let's get rid of this saw. Try and make a bit of space here. Unfortunately, I've got a crankshaft here in the middle of the situation as well that needs the old, what would be the phrase, the artistic application of angle grinder. But that'll be another day's work. Ooh, look at this. Wow. It's like one of those times when you get a film developed and you would realise that you had actually left the lens cap on and hadn't gotten those holiday snaps. Now, one thing I'm seeing here on the copper sides particularly, this is something that Jack was going on about there fairly recently, was copper plating onto the aluminium. I wonder is that what I'm actually seeing here on the holiday snaps. Interesting. So there we go, that's what's inside one of these prismatics. You've got your holiday snaps. And I think I'm going to have to submit myself for detoxification after that, but yeah, there we go. That's what's in it. I'm not going to try drinking this, by the way. I'm not certain it would be a good move. You know, I do want to finish the 5 series before I check out. Oh, look at this, we can peel these off. Oh, okay. So, here's one holiday snap. It's got the, don't know if that's going to come out too well there, but it's got the kind of weirdness on the copper. Maybe that's where the dendrites were growing, or else maybe I'm, what is it, seeing messages from God in the carbon black. So anyway, just thought we'd have a quick interlude and cut open a cell. So excitement. Didn't blow up. I'm not dead yet. So okay, guys, we'll try and get back to the bottom balancing and that. So see you soon.